From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, reactions trail emergence of two sons of Chief Justice in Bauchi primaries. Murder, Nasarawa State National Population Commission Commissioner's children regain freedom. Suspended Accountant General released from EFCC custody. Away from Nigeria, Yemen warring sides extend truce for 2 months. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. Trust News Hour. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. Now, Borno State PDP governorship candidate Muhammad Ali Jajari has vowed to end the one-party system in the state if elected. The party flag bearer said PDP is ready to challenge and unseat the incumbent governor Umar Zulum in next year's election. He said he will focus on insecurity, power and nepotism in the state if given the chance. Jajari, who debunked claims that PDP is involved in anti-party activities with the ruling party, described such insinuations as mere sentiments meant to sabotage PDP's existing chance of winning the 2023 polls.
He's still threatening a lot of things. Secondly, to make sure all the sacked employees, government public employees, returned back to their service. And the third one is that there should be contracts, awards done by reputable companies, not family business. Well, they're using the term direct labor, but everybody knows it's not direct labor. It's contract given to cronies, family members, and associates. And that's why most of the contracts that are done are expired within a short period of time. There's so many ways to generate power. I really do not see anything he's doing that is so impressive. Nothing. Anybody, you can do it. Anybody can do it.
There are so many sentiments in respect to how the ruling party have so many moles in our party that work for them. But with this development, you have one party, PDP. Our house now is in order, and we are preparing to take over power from APC from 2023. They have been using the IDPs for elections to win elections. Now they themselves are the one who returns those IDPs back. So from all indication, we are taking over. Plus this newly enacted electoral act. We are very hopeful. All those monkey business in election process will no longer be there. We will win election. Everyone is having enough with the APC.
Politics in the country has been reduced to a game for the highest bidder, where only the corrupt thrive while Nigerians wallow in abject poverty. A former Kwara APC governorship aspirant, Alhaji Yakub Gobir, stated this shortly after decamping to the Young Progressive Party in Ilorin. According to him, the obscene monetization of electoral process is part of a grand design to scheme out the upright and competent from participating in the governance of the country. On his reasons for seeking YPP's governorship ticket, Gobiru said he has since resolved to deploy his resources to prepare the youthful segment of the society to effect change through his party.
2019 elections that ushered in the current APC government at both the state and federal levels. Yet, I must confess, I have become disillusioned with Nigeria's leadership selection process. Our democracy is an expensive and inefficient exercise which has been hijacked by money bags in an illegitimate process that cannot produce a legitimate outcome. It is a need to be on the right side of history that explains my decision to leave the All Progressives Congress and to deploy all my resources and God-given talents to build a platform for young men and women to express themselves, to vote and to be voted for, and more importantly, to take charge of their own destiny. That platform is the Young Progressives Party.
Mixed reactions have continued to greet the emergence of the two sons of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Muhammad Tanko, as candidates for Bauchi North on the platforms of the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party. Adamu Imam takes a look at the divergent views of Bauchi residents on how the two candidates emerged as their party's flag bearers.
Political parties have conducted their primary elections for the State House of Assembly, National Assembly, as well as governorship seats across the 20 local government areas of the state. Although the election have come and gone, what has refused to go with the election is how the two sons of the Chief Judge of Nigeria, Muhammad Tanko, who won both in the All Progressives Congress APC and People's Democratic Party PDP respectively. Ibrahim Muhammad Tanko, who is the elder brother, won the senatorial seat of Bauchi North Senatorial Zone under the platform of APC with 179 votes, defeating the incumbent Senator Bulkachua, who scored 0 votes, while the junior brother Sani Muhammad Tanko won the House of Representative ticket for Gyade Shira Federal Constituency by defeating other contestants to also emerge winner under the platform of the People's Democratic Party. However, based on the outcome of the primaries, many people, especially supporters of both parties, are of the view that the victory of the two sons was as a result of their father's influence, despite not being a politician himself.
I cannot say that they voted because of the influence of their father. They voted because of their good behaviors of those people. As I know, if there is any problem with them, they cannot vote there at the same house like that.
Corroborating this position is Adamu Muhammad Jahun says credibility and the need to deliver effective representation led to the outcomes of the primaries.
Shi Bulkatuwa da yake alal hakika gaskiya tun da aka zabe shi da ya tafi.
Senator Bulkatuwa is nowhere to be found. Since he was elected, he thought delegates or party stalwarts are like before, that you could swear with money. Not anymore. The narrative has changed. I think the outcome of the election is a lesson to all participants that they should deliver democratic dividends to the peoples they represent or get kicked out. Haji Arabi, a woman leader, dispels rumors that financial inducement determined the outcomes of the polls elections.
They are the kind of people we need in our constituency and especially in Bauchi State. For us, financial inducement during elections no longer hold sway because our electorates are wiser now. My opinion is that they have the right to aspire to whatever height they want. After all, the incumbents have nothing to offer the electorates.
Their personality and their degree of human relation with people or their community is what I can refer to as the contributing factor of their success.
Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Delta State, Olisa Ifejika, says Governor Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State is capable of occupying the seat of President of Nigeria with his performance and contributions to national politics. The Chief Press Secretary stated this in response to remarks by an analyst on a TV program, referring to Governor Okowa as unfit to be considered as PDP's vice presidential candidate. Addressing journalists at the Government House, Asaba, the CPS said Governor Okowa has the requisite experience to not only be the vice president, but president, as he has demonstrated in different capacities. Ifejika berated the analyst for spreading falsehood about the development of Delta State under the leadership of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa.
Should have in politics. Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa has it. To even be the president of this country, but for somebody to think that he's not qualified to be the vice president of this country because of not being a national person, of course we know that that is malicious. That comment was very, very malicious. Osibanjo, who is now vice president, the best he has in politics was commissioner for Justice Attorney General of Lagos State. Okowa, for all intent and purposes, was a commissioner in Delta State for 8 years. He became secretary to the state government for 4 years before becoming a senator. Before now, not much was done, particularly in the coastal areas, the riverside, where people are really going through tough times. But Okowa braved it, went into the interior of the riverside and constructed roads. It's on record that we have 20.8 kilometers of road inside the water.
Two daughters of the recently murdered former commissioner of the National Population Commission, Zakari Umaru Kibu, have regained freedom from their captors. Gunmen had on Sunday stormed Umar Kibu's residence in Azuba, Bashai, Lafia local government area of Nasarawa State and abducted his children after killing him. The Nasarawa State Police Public Relations Officer, ASP Ramhan Nansel, Wednesday confirmed their release. He said that the children were rescued due to the pressure mounted on the kidnappers who were hiding in the mountains in Igon local government area of the state. He said the victims had been reunited with their family after undergoing medical examination. When asked whether ransom was paid to secure their release, the PPRO said that the command had no knowledge of such. However, a family source said that the 30 million naira ransom was paid to the kidnappers before the children were released. Suspended Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, has been released by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The EFCC spokesperson, Wilson Ujare, who confirmed this on Thursday, said Idris was released on bail from the custody of the Anti-Graft Agency on Wednesday night in Abuja and has since been reunited with his family. Idris was arrested by the operatives of the EFCC on May 16, 2022 over alleged 80 billion naira fraud. Still staying with judiciary, the Federal High Court in Abuja has scheduled the hearing of the extradition proceedings initiated against the suspended Assistant Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, by the federal government for Friday. Justice Inyang Eko chose the date on Thursday to enable the Attorney General of the Federation to file a formal response to Kyari's notice of primary objection challenging the competence of the extradition application filed by the AGF. The AGF applied to the court for permission to surrender Kyari to authorities of the United States in relation to his alleged link with international fraud suspect Abbas Ramon, aka Hush Puppy. Now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has closed its case against a former governor of Plateau State, Jonah David Jang, and a former cashier in the office of the Secretary to the State Government, Yusuf Pam. The case, which is before Justice C.L. Dabup of the Plateau State High Court, sitting in Jos, was closed after the Commission presented 14 witnesses and tendered several exhibits. Jang and Pam are facing trial for alleged criminal breach of trust and misappropriation of Plateau State funds to the tune of 6.3 billion naira. After the prosecution closed its case, the defendants were expected to open their defense on Wednesday. However, their legal team, led by Mike Ezehome, SAN, informed the court of their decision not to do so. Rather, Ezehome is inviting the prosecution has to address the court within 14 days and hopes to reply in 10 days, while the prosecution has another 5 days to reply on point of law. Thereafter, the judge adjourned the matter to the 1st of July for adoption of final written addresses. A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the interim forfeiture of assets linked to a former director of finance and accounts in the Federal Ministry of Health, Anthony Hassan. Justice Zainab Abubakar gave the order while ruling on a motion ex parte brought by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The judge also directed that the interim forfeiture order be published in national dailies for anyone with interest in the properties to show cause within 14 days, while it should not be forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria. The university built by Anthony Hassan was suspected to have been built with proceeds of unlawful activities traced to its owner. The physical assets of the university forfeited included Senate Building, ICT Building, Faculty of Medicine Building, Science Deanery Building, 2 academic buildings, a faculty hall, and other buildings. Other assets forfeited were Gasmen Water Factory, Gasmen Event Center, and Gasmen International Hotel in Kaduna. Again, the Federal High Court in Abuja Division has struck out the application filed by the Premier Academy, Lugbe, seeking to stop the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission from investigating the circumstances which led to the alleged rape and death of one of its students, Karen Hapuk Owandodo. Instead, the court ordered an accelerated hearing of the substantive suit, fixing it for 22nd of June, which is the same day Karen Hapuk died 1 year ago. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission had asked the school for explanation after it received a formal complaint from Karen's mother, Vivian Vihimga Apaga, accusing the institution of breaching its side of a contract to care for and protect her daughter. Premier Academy Lugbe had in response asked the court to grant it an interlocutory injunction restraining the FCCPC from inviting, summoning, or causing its staff or representatives from attending any public hearing pending the hearing and determination of the substantive suit on the matter. Presiding Judge Justice Evelyn Maha, however, ruled that granting the application will impact on the legality or illegality of the actions of the FCCPC, which is a major issue to be determined in the substantive suit. She therefore struck out the application and ordered an accelerated hearing of the substantive matter. Now, with over 1.6 million students participating in the ongoing West African Examination Council WAEC examination across the nation, their counterparts in Sokoto and Zamfara are for the second year running unable to participate. This is due to insecurity and other administrative bottlenecks in the sector. Salis Lawan visited some of the examination centers in Yola, Adamawa, where students who are writing the examination are calling for government intervention to boost education in the region. The report.
With the recent insecurity in the northwest, northeast, and some parts of Nigeria, education in these areas has been negatively impacted. This negative impact has not only presented a bleak future for the region, but also affected the number of intakes in the Nigerian school system. For instance, the number of over 1.6 million students in Nigeria who are currently writing WAEC could have been higher if Sokoto and Zamfara were able to participate in the exercise. This non-participation has been attributed to lack of finances and insecurity. In Adamawa, Trust TV visited some examination centers where students were participating in the ongoing exercise. Some of them expressed hope of furthering their studies if given the needed support.
I'm writing my exam in Capital School, and so far so good. My exam is going smoothly and successfully. I'm hoping by finishing my exam, I'm studying in a particular university.
I'm from Capital Day Government Secondary School. I'm writing my WAEC. I hope so. When I finish, I want to study mass communication by God's grace.
I'm a student of Capital School. We thank God for the exam that is going on. We thank God for being with us since through SS1 to this up to this time. We thank God. Thank God for our government for providing us with free education. And we thank God that we are about to finish our exam. We are very happy.
To ensure the advancement of education in the region, stakeholders say proactive measures need to be taken by the appropriate authorities.
The WAEC examination that is going on right now in Adamawa State is perfect because before the commencement and while they have started, I went out. My directors too went out, and everything is on ground because especially like the sciences, they have all equipments on ground, and we have teachers, alhamdulillah, and all students were seen in their classrooms or in their halls writing the examination. It's perfect. There is no problem.
For 2 years running, Sokoto and Zamfara State have not participated in the exercise due to challenges which many believe need to address sooner than later. Statistics shows that out of the 1,607,985 registered for the examination, 800,055 representing 49.76% are males, while 800,724 representing 50.24% are females. From Yola, Silas Lawan, Trust TV News.
In a related development, a total of 19,385 candidates in Gombe State are taking part in the West African Senior School Certificate Examination in 112 public and private schools. This comes after the state government paid the exam fees for the students of public secondary schools. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
These are students of Government Science Secondary School, GSSS Gombe, sitting for the 2022 June-July West African Senior School Certificate Examination. The school registered 401 students from the total of 19,385 candidates sponsored by the Inwaya-led administration. Some visibly enlightened students say they were prepared for the examination.
In terms of our performance, I want to tell the governor that we are trying in this school and we are reading, and our teachers are highly qualified teachers who spend their times to teach us and also to study before they come to the classroom.
So I read very hard, so hard that because I want to pass my exam. And I even spend the whole night reading because I want to score this exam. I'm expecting a very good result.
However, Sokoto and Zamfara State's candidates were not registered for WAEC due to the inability of the state governments to settle outstanding debts. Parents in Gombe are grateful to the state government for ensuring that their children are not left out.
I won't
be able to pay for my child's exam fee. Without government assistance, he could have been a school dropout. It's difficult to take the responsibilities of his siblings at home and catering for the family. An educationist called on other governments in the region to emulate Gombe State and give priority to basic education by sponsoring students to take part in relevant examinations.
The student may think of spending all these 12 years and at last, in a sort of him or her, to get a certificate that can help them to go to the higher institution, but they are not being opportune. That may provoke them to start negative thinking.
Gombe State government said it is optimistic the performance of students in WAEC will continue to witness tremendous improvement.
That Gombe State, in terms of external examination, we recorded 79.5%. Out of a total of 15,000 students that sat for WAS. We recorded 79.5% of those students that passed WAEC examination with 5 credits including English and math. Minimum.
1,607,985 candidates in 20,221 secondary schools nationwide are writing the May-June 2022 West African Senior School Certificate Examination from Gombe. Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly. Caring for the elderly. Details and more after the break. Join us again.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve the sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Thanks for staying. This is the News Hour on Trust Television. Here is a reminder of our top stories again. Reactions trail emergence of two sons of Chief Justice in Bauchi primaries. Murdered Nasarawa State National Population Commission commissioner's children regained freedom. In other news, the civil society organizations in Rivers State have appealed to the state government to pay teachers of the state-owned schools who are being owed 6 years' salaries. The chairman of the state civil society organizations, NFR George, who said this during a press briefing in Port Harcourt, urged the state governor, Nyesom Wike, to withdraw the appeal court case and pay the school's teachers their salaries. The chairman explained that some of the teachers have died while some are critically ill due to non-payment of their salaries. He also called on the government to pay the gratuity of pensioners who have been pleading for their benefits over the years.
Three key issues. One is that we want to plead that His Excellency the Governor of Rivers State should please withdraw the court case against demonstration teachers at the Court of Appeal and reinstate and pay these teachers their 6 years' salary. These teachers are dying, they are suffering as I speak to you. Just only recently we have recorded more deaths. Issue of pensioners. They are saying that His Excellency should do well to pay our old parents their pension and gratuity. The government had promised that in May they are going to pay, and from calls we have put through to these our old parents who have served states judiciously, up till now there is no signal yet. But we believe that the governor, who have just less than 1 year to go, will not allow us to go to that part.
As the strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, continues, university students remain stuck at home Ironically, despite the absence of students, the Umar Musa Yar'Adua University, Katsina, has been granted approval by the National Universities Commission to run some special education programs. The Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Sanusi Mamman, dropped the hint while addressing journalists in his office. Abdullahi Hamadi has more.
With these approvals, Umar Musa Yar'Adua University can now admit students with special needs to study at the Department of Special Education. The Special Education Department was introduced to admit students from the School for the Blind Katsina and the School for the Deaf in Malumfashi. This is in addition to others graduating from Polytechnic and other colleges of education.
Yeah, here in Katsina, when they could graduate, not many universities are ready to accept them to come and pursue higher degree. So they are ready, they can come now. School for the Blind, you end up seeing them in the filling station begging, when they ought to have been sponsored by somebody to come and pursue their degrees there. So we have now a place and all the equipment required to train these individuals, they are there.
The Vice-Chancellor also spoke extensively on the long-awaited conversion of Federal Medical Center Katsina to a teaching hospital for students studying medicine at the university.
For those who are wishing to have their children to read medicine, they should get them prepared and get extra lessons for them to come to teach them to be able to earn 200 and above in subsequent JAMB examinations.
Similarly, to restore the lost glory of agriculture in Katsina State, Umar Musa Yar'Adua University has established Faculty of Agriculture at Line Minister in Malumfashi local government area to encourage research and development.
The international relations is a social science course. If we can help people to read this area, it will help a lot. In subsequent years, a lot of things will be done. But I want to assure the world that all the required equipment, facilities are made available in the university for people to excel in those areas. So far, we have approval to commence 14 programs. We are waiting for the NUC resource verification to approve another 9 new programs, including PhD in biology, educational psychology, curriculum, and other related subjects.
Beyond the approvals by the NUC, these programs could only be achieved with funding, provision of equipment, and enough infrastructure at the university.
So we introduced and got approval from the NUC to commence bachelor's degree in integrated science, business administration, business education, primary education, early childhood education, as well as Department of Special Education, which was established and constructed.
Observers say Nigeria's development will remain at a snail's speed unless stringent measures are taken to discourage strike action at all levels of education. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Cross Television News, Katsina.
2 million children from 0 to 9 months are expected to be vaccinated against polio in the 14 local government areas of Zamfara State. The Executive Secretary, Zamfara State Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Tukuru Ismail, disclosed this during the official flag-off of polio outbreak response using the novel oral polio vaccine at Moriki Emirate in Zurmi local government area of the state. The report.
The Zamfara state government says it's not leaving anything to chance in the fight against polio in the state. The government says this necessitated the official flag-off of the polio outbreak response campaign targeting 2 million children from 0 to 9 months for vaccination against the disease in the state. According to the Executive Secretary, Zamfara State Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Tukur Ismail, the vaccination is in response to the resurgence of polio virus in Malawi, despite not being in Nigeria.
a momentum that we are having. We remember this week that we were able to eradicate polio, and we noticed we got information that there is a resurgence of the wild polio virus in Malawi. And because of the legalization, the world is now a global village, so we decided to strengthen the polio campaign as a nation. And this is the commitment of the stakeholders, traditional leaders, and religious leaders. We took the commencement of the one of the outbreak response using the novel oral polio vaccine. And as we have seen, it's going to take time to go around the entire Emirates Council to provide facilities together with the states and local governments to ensure quality implementation.
The State Commissioner for Health, Aliyu Abubakar, represented by the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, urged residents of the state to cooperate and ensure their children receive the novel oral polio vaccination. Chairman, Zamfara State Council of Chiefs and Emir of Anka, Attahiru Ahmad, who was represented by the Emir of Moriki, Bashar Ismail, at the event, assured of the traditional rulers' support at ensuring parents allow their children aged 0 to 9 months to receive the novel oral polio vaccination. The Executive Secretary of the Zamfara State Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Tukur Ismail, Permanent Secretary, State Ministry of Health, and the Emir of Moriki took time out to supervise and ensure quality implementation of the polio outbreak response within the emirate.
Residents of Osun State have identified lack of sophisticated equipment and poor crowd control strategies as major impediments to quick and effective firefighting. As a result, the firemen are often at the receiving end, incurring the wrath of angry mobs wherever fire wreaks havoc. Hamid Oegbade files in this report as presented from our studios.
The main duty of firemen is to extinguish fires whenever they occur. Apart from combating and fighting fires, other functions of firemen include rescuing people from road traffic accidents and dealing with other emergencies such as flood. There have been instances of mob attacks on firemen while carrying out their duties. This could be as a result of slow response to fire outbreaks. Properties worth 47 billion naira were saved in Osun State last year, courtesy of the efforts of men of Osun State Fire Service, while properties worth over 1 billion naira were lost to fire incidents in the state. An unfortunate fire incident at Okepopo in Oshobo, Osun State capital, consumed properties worth millions of naira. Nothing could be salvaged as the fire razed many shops. Madam Bintu, who witnessed the incident, said men of the Osun State Fire Service came to the scene immediately they were called, but had to return to get water.
We hear shouting that wuta wuta. We don't know about wuta wuta. Or that wrong. Everybody come out. When they come out, they said that Adelakun is fire, all sub. They call fire. They come, but before they come, anything spoil.
Shegun Adegoke decried the attitudes of people who resort to take pictures and recording videos during the fire incidents, noting such actions can constitute hindrance to firemen.
When firemen are called upon to come and put out the fire, these days you find that they are obstructed by people who are trying to record the scene or trying to record the incident. They want to be the first to break the news, and so the actual work that the firemen were actually called upon to come and do, they will not be able to do it.
The director of Osun State Fire Service, Mr. Michael Ogundepe, urged residents to call the fire service immediately a fire outbreak occurs and assure that firemen are always ready to do their job.
The challenges we are having is the public. When the fire is burning, they will not call the fire service immediately they notice there is fire. The public will be making their own effort to put the fire off by themselves. But when it gets beyond the control, it is then they will remember that there is fire service. When they call the fire service will follow them immediately. when we get there, the whole building might be engulfed by fire, and the public will now blaming the fire service that since the fire has been burning for so more than 1 hour ago, fire service is just coming. But immediately they call us, we follow them to the scene of fire.
The federal government says it is in the final stage of establishing agent desk in the 32 MDAs to accelerate and effectively include older persons in strategic plans, programs, activities, budget lines, as well as monitoring and evaluation frameworks of MDAs. Director General of the National Senior Citizens Center, MM Omokaru, disclosed this at a workshop for desk officers from 32 MDAs, as well as officers from the House Committees on Disabilities and that of Women and Social Development. The report.
Organized by the National Senior Citizens Center in collaboration with the United Nations Population Fund, the workshop focused on planning and implementation aspects of MDA's mandates in relation to aging policy in Nigeria. The Director General of the Center, NM Omokaru, informed that this training is among other things to enhance knowledge of population aging, stem stereotypes and institutional discrimination against older people, and to enhance appreciation of the rights of older persons to inclusion in the development agenda.
With the establishment of the National Senior Citizens Center as a focal agency of aging and older persons, is a coordinating, initiating, collaborating, and lobbying, I would say, agency. So now it is our place to do what we are doing here today, to partner with MDAs and then to ensure that all the MDAs who host these statutory mandates that intersect with our mandate really understand the issues and to work with them to ensure that the issues are defined and can be broken down into programs that are age appropriate for older persons.
Country Director of UNFPA, Ula Elizabeth Muella, whose message was delivered by Telson Ojogun, reaffirmed the fund's commitment to assist Nigeria address the challenges facing older citizens, especially as the aging population continues to grow faster than the general population.
We thank the government of Nigeria for recognizing this and committing to addressing the issues and concerns of older persons in Nigeria. I want to emphasize UNFPA's commitment and participation in ensuring old people's continued inclusion in society, as well as in the development and implementation of policies that directly influence their well-being integrated into the society.
Statistician General of the Federation and Chief Executive of the National Bureau of Statistics, Samuel Adeniran, represented by the Director, Social and General Services, Tunde Adebisi, made a case for timely, statistical and internationally acceptable data on the aging population to ensure that the right policies are implemented for older people.
Reliable, timely and up-to-date data remains very essential to formulation of good policies that will address the concerns of elderly persons in Nigeria. Consequently, the time is now for all critical stakeholders, data producer, user, supplier of data, to brace up in their roles so as to put an end to burdens of the elderly.
Special Advisor to the President on Humanitarian Affairs, Musa Bongudu, called for both individual and collective efforts from relevant MDAs and partnering organizations to ensure that the challenges facing older people are addressed.
Please, may I take this opportunity and in conclusion, appeal to all of us. Let's see what we can do as individuals, what we can do to enhance these services that are reaching them.
Government is hopeful that with desk officers and officers and MDAs, issues bordering on aging will be properly mainstreamed into specific programs and services for the benefit of older people.
President Muhammadu Buhari has lamented the surge in insecurity on African waterways, specifically within the Gulf of Guinea. President Buhari noted that the development required collaborative efforts among stakeholders to tackle. The president spoke at the International Maritime Conference in Onne, Rivers State, as part of the 66th anniversary of the Nigerian Navy. The report.
President Muhammadu Buhari commended the Nigerian Navy for its commitment to ensuring safety of the country's waterways. Represented by the Minister of Defense, retired Major General Bashir Magashi, the President noted that efforts of the Nigerian Navy have led to reduction in sea piracy and the listing of Nigeria from the International Maritime Bureau of Piracy list since March 2022. President Buhari said the conference will fashion out ways for collaboration among security agencies and curbing maritime crime in the collective waterways.
We will agree that these threats have become transnational and evolved beyond the scope and capability of one nation to deal with. The situation therefore calls for greater international collaboration, and this conference therefore symbolizes strategic collaborative initiative between Nigerian Navy and other international maritime stakeholders.
Earlier in his remarks, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, noted that this year's International Maritime Conference, with the theme Optimizing Collaboration for Maritime Security and Socio-Economic Development in Africa, is apt and timely. Admiral Gambo noted the rising need for effective collaboration in maritime policing, stressing that the current security threat in the Gulf of Guinea is of serious concern to Africa and the global community.
This conference will provide a veritable platform to collectively profile way forward in addressing the myriad of challenges in the maritime environment. It is therefore hoped that this forum will facilitate the much needed distance towards identifying viable concepts and constructive collaborative action plans that will support this strategic level initiative. Hence, it is against this background that the team optimizing collaboration for maritime security and socio-economic development in Africa was conceptualized.
Admiral Gambo said the Nigerian Navy has grown from an offshoot of the Nigerian Marines to a formidable component of the country's security architecture and a major player in the Gulf of Guinea security.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday in Madrid met with two Spanish companies doing business in Nigeria and assured of a safe, secure and prosperous country. At a meeting with executives of GB Foods, which grows tomatoes in Kebbi State and employs about 5,000 people, the president pledged that the entire country will be secured, noting that it is one of the cardinal objectives of the administration. Chairman of GB Foods, Arthur Karula, described the company as a family business now in its third generation in Africa, with over $250 billion investments in Nigeria, Algeria, Ghana and Senegal. At another meeting with Naturgy, a leading Spanish gas company, the president expressed pleasure that the outfit has established a steady partnership with Nigeria in the oil and gas industry. Chief executive of the Naturgy, Francisco Renz, said its first contact with Nigeria was in 1992, noting that since then they have become one of the largest buyers of liquefied natural gas.
You have done for Nigerian communities living abroad by setting up a diaspora commission, and this diaspora commission has been pivotal in taking care of the needs of Nigerians abroad, which Spain is among them. So here we have a thriving Nigerian community here. The Nigerian community here has been growing every year because of the opportunity that Spain offers to many of us.
We have 80,000 documented Nigerians in Spain, and the footballers are very thriving. We have about 19 footballers, Nigerian footballers, and I'm sure, Mr. President, you know about Aziza, who plays for Barcelona. She's one of the leaders in football in this country, and it's well appreciated. But I hope one day in Nigeria that Kenneth will be playing for Real Madrid, which is my team.
I'm delighted to be meeting with a cross-section of Nigerians living in Spain. Many of you are here for different reasons, some for a fulfilling career in sports, especially in football, from where you earn respectable incomes to sustain yourselves as well as maintain your extended families in Nigeria, including investments back at home.
Now, for more on business, Chiamaka Mwafo has this put together.
The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, says it will commence the process of enforcement and recovery of unremitted tax deductions owed by some states and local governments in the country. This decision was contained in a public notice signed by its executive chairman, Mohammed Nami, where the tax authority noted that most states and local governments have failed to remit to the service, withholding tax and value-added tax deductions from payments made to contractors and service providers by them as required by law. Following failure to remit by defaulted states and local governments, the FIRS has stated that it will consequently advise the federal government and the Minister of Finance to henceforth decline approval of any request for the issuance of state bonds or other securities in the capital market. The tax authority stated that it would also publicly name and shame the defaulting states and councils while publishing the amount owed in unremitted tax deductions. Oil prices rose Thursday, even as major crude producers agreed to boost output by more than the usual amount following an EU ban on Russian imports. Major oil producers led by Saudi Arabia and Russia began talks Thursday on whether to adjust output, hard on the heels of an EU ban on Russian oil imports. Soaring energy prices have fueled growing inflation around the world, hampering economic growth and prompting central banks to hike rates. Finally, in stock, the Nigerian stock market on Thursday extended the bearish sessions as the all-share index declined by 0.30% to close at 52,815.78 points. Market capitalization was down by 0.30% to close at 28.474 trillion naira. The aggregate volume and value of trader stocks closed at 274 million units and 4 billion naira in 5,011 deals. Market breadth closed negative as 13 stocks gained while 26 stocks declined in their share prices. And that's it for business news.
And away from Nigeria, the United Nations says the truce between the Yemeni government and the country's Houthi rebels has been extended for 2 months. UN Special Envoy for Yemen, Hans Grunberg, announced that parties to the conflict had agreed to an extension. In his remark, Norwegian Refugee Council's Yemen Country Director, Erin Hutchinson, said that the announcement of the truce extension shows a serious commitment from all parties to end the senseless suffering of millions of Yemenis. The initial 2-month truce, the first since 2016, began on April 2nd and is set to expire on Thursday. Still from the foreign scene, the United Nations has changed the Republic of Turkey's country name as the organization from Turkey to Turkiye, following a request from Ankara for the change. UN spokesman Stephanie Dujarric said that a letter had been received on Wednesday from the Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu, addressed to Secretary General Antonio Guterres, requesting the use of Turkiye instead of Turkey. For all affairs, Turkey began the move to change its internationally recognized official name in English to Turkiye in December. The spokesman said that the country name change became effective from the moment the letter was received. Cavusoglu announced the letter's official submission to the UN and other international organizations on Tuesday. Now let's take a look at sports updates with Adeni Ajishafe.
2022 Prudent Energy Handball League first phase has ended at the Velodrome of MK Abiola Stadium with defender Babes of Abuja, who led first half 19-8, defeating Adorable Angels of Ilorin 40-26. In other results, in the female category, Benue Queens walked over Kada Queens. Imo Grasshoppers drew 21-21 against Bended Dynamos. Rima Queens edged out Seasider Babes 32-18, while Plateau Peacocks lost to Safety Babes. Defending champion Kano Pillars, with 11 games unbeaten, won 40-33 against Lagos Seasiders. The defenders are 25-24 to Tor Police Machine. Tojemarine Academy defeated Benue Buffaloes 37-31, while Rima Strikers or Wena Kings ended 36-24. Niger United game against Safety Shooters ended 23-26 in favor of Safety Shooters, as Nasiru Hassan of Safety Shooters and Precious Samuel of Rima Queens won most valuable players for male and female of matchday 11 games. Precious Samuel appreciated her teammates for their teamwork while hoping to win more.
I could not do this all alone. First, I want to give all appreciations to God Almighty for giving me an opportunity to prove what He has given to me. And secondly, for the support of my teammates, because I could have not done it on my own. But their help, their prayers, and their support brought me so far.
President Nigerian Handball Federation Samuel Ocheho expressed joy over the completion of first phase as well as the development of handball in Nigeria.
I think I'm more than satisfied. Everything I've seen here is laden with excellence, and I'm lucky this time to have had enough time to really witness what's going on at the league. At least I've been here for the last 8 days, so I've seen loads of talent. I mean, for me, the happiest thing for me is to see a lot of young talents moving from under 12 level into the senior level, and even winning awards as most valuable players during the event. A lot of people that played in under 12 in 2018 are already playing at the senior level, and that's what I want to see. I want to see people transcend from the younger level to senior level.
Handball League second phase will kick off in October in Lagos to celebrate 50 years of handball in Nigeria. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
And that wraps up the news hour on Trust Television. Remember, you can watch more by clicking the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and also follow us across all social media platforms. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.